Hey, Jonathan Lawrence here. I'm not going to be doing a gear review per se today, but I am going to be doing a gear experience. I've been working with Aputure Lights lately and loving them a lot, and I just kind of want to talk about my overall thoughts and feelings on what I've been doing with them, how I've been using them, some production tips and tricks. And I want to talk about a show that I just worked on called Duke and Dammit. I was the cinematographer on that and had a great experience working with Rob and Ken and the team of Duke and Dammit, as well as working with Matteo, who is a gaffer and a cinematographer himself, and the great experience that we had working together. So let's light it up. Since I started using Aputure Lights, I find that the quality of the work that I've been doing is lifted. The quality of the light is just taking everything up a level. I love the way it renders skin. One of the shows that I'm working on as cinematographer is a comedy series called Duke and Dammit.
Duke. 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 Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it.
Very funny series. Check it out. You can find it on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. So second season, though, we were able to take the production level up quite a lot just by having the higher quality lights that I'm working with Aputure now. Before I was working with a lot lower end lights, and then I ended up getting one Aputure light, which led to another, which led to another, and I was like, okay, so I'm hooked. So I kind of became an Aputure fanboy. Simply because of the cost of the lighting for the quality that you're getting. So on season one, we had a 2-camera setup, and I had a small, I think it was a GH5S on a Edelkrone slider, which kind of went back and forth, and I had the parallactic pointing, so it all stayed centered. And what we were able to do is we had the medium shot set up with the S1H, and be able to just cut between these wides and the mediums. Then we would walk in with just the S1H and punch in for all the close-up stuff. Now, we didn't have a lot of modifiers on the first season. I don't even think we had the silk necessarily. I may have had people holding just pop-out silks as we were shooting those. But the second season, when I started acquiring all the stuff and started buying Aputure gear and started buying some better modifiers and things like that, we were able to really up the image quality quite a lot by using silks when we did singles. The wides are just too wide to fly the silk, so it is what it is. And we shoot a lot of episodes in one day, so we have to plan around the lighting as best we can to use that one location. But second season, flying into the close-ups for each character to do their bits, we were able to spend a little time not just flying silks overhead, but actually starting to sculpt the lighting a little bit with the Aputure lights through modifiers, whether it's bouncing to fill up undershadows or whatever it is. Mostly the 600D shooting through a bounce. We didn't really put much in front of the lights outdoors because we needed the firepower using the F10 Fresnel on the front to really shoot that thing quite a distance.
Well, pick them up and put them down already. Come on. Shit. Jesus.
One of the challenges that we found on season one was, of course, the changing lighting. I mean, the sun was, we were shooting one direction. The sun started here, ended over here. High noon was really difficult and made it very difficult for shooting, especially with Duke and Dammit wearing hats, because that direct overhead sun is just horrible monster lighting. Season two, I made the suggestion, why don't we shoot all of the wides while the sun is over here, and then while the sun is high and directly above us, let's go in for all of our close-ups because we can control that better to match it. And anticipating where the sun was going to be toward the end of the day, we could also shoot the close-ups for that because I was using my Helios app to figure out where the sun was going to go. And we were able to shoot all the close-ups and match where the lighting was there as well. And then in the afternoon, when the sun was low and pretty again, we were able to shoot the rest of the wides for the rest of the show. I asked Rob and Ken, is that going to affect the performances of the actors, how to do the wardrobe changes and scatter this stuff around? They spoke with the actors. Communication is key on a set. They spoke with the actors. They worked it out that, they know this material well enough and the characters well enough. They'll be able to jump in and out like that. We saved a lot of time by doing all the wides, all the close-ups during high noon when we could control the light or the high sun, and then all the rest of the wides if we needed any toward the end of the day. Just think about things like that. How can we save time given where the sun is going to be?
Sons of bitches, see what I got here.
What do you think he's got there?
Nothing good, I suppose.
I reckon the real question is, did he find it or did he steal it?
Stole it.
Season one was a testing ground, and it was really, really, really hard because I had no help other than actors who would pitch in and things like that. The one thing that I asked for on second season was a little bit of a crew. I said I really need a gaffer and a grip, which they got for me.
I met Jonathan and Rob and Ken and everybody actually for the first time on season 2 of Duke and Dammit. And I have to say it was one of the most fun set I work on, as well as a learning experience.
I worked with Matteo on second season as the gaffer. He's got a lot of knowledge. He's a cinematographer himself, and I learned a lot just by talking to him and watching him and asking him questions.
Jonathan is very open to suggestions. That's really hard to find because sometimes the crew, especially the gaffer, expect the DP to tell them what to do and they just execute.
So I think it's really important in independent production, as much as you can, don't wear all the hats. Find people that you can surround yourself with that care about the project as much as you do, that have hopefully more knowledge than you have.
Jonathan is very open to doing things in a little different way that he would have thought about. And I saw it the first time in the kitchen scene.
We did have this one scene inside the house that we actually shot at night.
It was kind of a challenge for us since we had to shoot night for day.
I asked Matteo to use the 600s and shine it through a big 8x8 silk that we had off to the side of the room to get kind of a natural daylight coming through.
And then I suggested to try and see what would it look like to put 2 novas through the silk. That will make the source a little bit bigger and softer.
Which he was right, and it looked great. There's just big, massive daylight coming through the kitchen.
And we just cut it halfway with a layer of duvetine to avoid a strong reflection on the counter.
You think you could access somebody's address if I were to provide you the proper information? What's her name?
For our field, I put the bounce board up high, inclined in 45 degrees, with a 300D Mark II.
We had sprinkles of lights all over the place, shooting up over the rafters and coming down into the kitchen. We put a bunch of MC lights up above the stove to look like some tungsten light was coming from down there. And it made it very easy for us to just move around the kitchen and shoot very quickly and very naturally because it looked like big soft daylight coming through. I think overall the scene looked really great.
Have I introduced you to Bundy? He's a beaver. And he is one hell of a charmer. I'll let you in on a little secret, though. He is scared to death of getting struck by lightning.
Meat's meat. Hell, they can put whatever they want in there. If I'm getting 3 tacos for $1.99. Don't come crying to me when you're pumping mud.
The car setup was really, really challenging.
We didn't have the proper camera rig to make it easy for us.
We rigged an 8x8 black cloth above the vehicle, sticking out over the windshield to cut out all glare and reflection.
It was pretty simple to secure. I ended up putting 2 cardellini and 2 short arm on the side windows and clamped into the 8x up front.
I took this Enduro hi-hat. What we did is we put a blanket over the hood of the car and we mounted this, and then we just strapped it to the hood of the car with ratchet straps. It was really, really an impressive rig, and I attribute a lot of that to Matteo and Aiden, the gaffer and the grip on the show. They took my original idea of what I was trying to do, and they executed it flawlessly with their own knowledge and skills.
The camera is on the car, and while driving, there are all these vibrations that affect the image, but the stabilization system in the Panasonic S1H took all of those off, and the footage looks seamless, looks amazing.
Welcome to Taco Bell. Would you like to try our Chalupa Cravings box?
Ma'am, I seen the sign down on Main advertising for the 3 taco deal for $1.99.
For the drive-through shot, we only use a reflector, and we shot early in the morning. Then we drove back to another location and shot dialogue that they have in the car, and we had to match the light from what we had in the morning.
When they were parked, we were able to bring the lights in, the 600D, some modifiers.
We actually used 2 600Ds, one as a key light punching through an 8x silk, and another 600D with a light dome tool acting as a kicker from the side, and it perfectly matched.
You about to meet Brandon.
We'll pick them up and put them down, damn it.
Duke and Dammit, Season 2, Episode 3, Coke. I'll let you figure that one out or go watch it and see what that's about. It's a funny episode. We were able to shoot at this great little restaurant, Mi Corazon in Silver Lake, and we had it for the whole day. They were closed that day, and we were able to actually control the lighting.
The restaurant scene was interesting as well because it was a complex scene and in a really big space, and we were a really small crew.
Now, we had this big, beautiful window near the table that Duke and Dammit, Rob and Ken, were sitting at, but we had cars going by outside. There were lots of reflections going by. So what we did to control that is we put up a 5-foot by 12-foot unbleached muslin at kind of an angle. My idea was to just hit that with the 600D and have that fill as the main key light.
What I suggested him was to actually place the light on the side of the unbleached muslin, and that create almost like a gradient to the light.
So the light wasn't bouncing directly back, but was a lot softer, raking across that and then just kind of wrapping around the actors.
So the result was basically having a little bit of light fading off the nose on the other side of the keys. That I think makes the shot more interesting and their face a little bit more three-dimensional.
I don't want to get locked up again.
Me neither.
I thought it ended up looking quite beautiful.
You know, my brother and I are fond of serving skills.
I actually have a video where I do a walkthrough where I show you that whole wrap, the aperture lights that we put up on the lantern, hid around the room with some Amaron 200s. We used the spotlight fixture with some gobos to create a pattern on a back wall. It kind of looked like one thing at the beginning, and then once you start popping the lights on and seeing the scene, you can really see how it just kind of brings everything up. And there's this one scene where they're actually talking to the waitress. It's a very funny scene.
Not again.
California cornflakes.
Cocoa Puffs.
Columbia marching powder.
Hollywood breakfast.
Dirty birdie.
Star Spangled Powder.
Foo-foo dust.
Duke and Dammit are going back and forth, and it's boom, boom. They're rattling this stuff off. The waitress is kind of looking like, oh my God, I can't believe this. We shot that in actually 2 separate parts of the room.
Jonathan had a great idea to cheat it around.
We shot Duke and Dammit at the table first. We got their wides and then their close-ups. The turnaround stuff that we did on the waitress, the background where she would have been was just not a pleasant background whatsoever. So we cheated the background. What we did is we still used the big 5x12 unbleached muslin for her key, but in the background there was this curtain, and then you could see the whole back room where a bunch of stuff was stored. We pulled the curtain back and kind of dressed it real nicely, and then I had him put a light, daylight balanced behind that, so we could just light that up so it looked like the window that was supposedly lighting her, which was actually the muslin. We gave her an eye line that we thought matched best the look of the actors, and cut between the 2 scenes.
I was very surprised that it matched perfectly. You cannot tell the difference.
Crew.
Steve Bloshemi.
The Next Door Hey Bros.
White Gold.
Barry White.
Queso Blanco.
Karen's Wake Up Dust.
Frosty the Snowman.
Nose Clams. Cocaine.
I got it.
We were able to cheat that lighting, again, keeping the lighting consistent because I had everything, all the aperture lights on my Sidus app, and I'm able to use my iPad to just lock things in or keep things the same and just hit them again for color temperatures or for exposure levels, and just bring those up on the app.
I had to say that I really enjoy Aputure Lights because they not only make it affordable, but the quality of their lights is what stands them apart from the competition.
It's great to be able to see what you can do with better gear. You don't need great gear, by the way. You can be totally creative and not use all this stuff. It's all about a compelling story that people want to watch, characters that people can identify with or like to hate, whatever the character is. So it really is about story. But you can bring the images up to a level that get away any objections that an audience may have, like, oh, this looks so low budget, this looks like crap. If you can get rid of those objections so people can just focus on the story, that's a really good thing. And that's one of the reasons all of my lighting right now is all Aputure lighting. I don't think I own anything that's not Aputure. I'm very happy with Aputure lighting. I'll continue to use it as they continue to innovate.
So I strongly suggest everybody to give them a try, at least. I'm pretty sure you'll be surprised.
But use what you have. If you need to go out and tell a story on your cell phone with a cheap, $50 light off of Amazon, that's okay. Just get out and learn and have fun and explore and continue to grow as a filmmaker and a storyteller.
Here's what I'm gonna do for you, sir, if I may. If we're not getting paid today, then I'm gonna take my truck and back it through your front door.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Is he serious?
Oh, I've never known him not to be serious.
I hope something that was talked about here today helped you or inspired you if you're an up and coming filmmaker or even a seasoned filmmaker, just picking up tricks along the way. I wanted to just share some of these experiences that I had working on Duke and Dammit. It is a challenging but collaborative show, and I think we're getting really good results.
Give me the key. Just give me the...
I'm going to put some links down below. We will be doing season 3 coming up fairly soon.
And I'm looking forward to season 3 because we want to step it up even more.
Come on back because I'm going to be doing some more videos on tips and tricks and some shooting stuff, some gear that I already use, some gear that I'm going to be getting, and hopefully it's of interest to you and helping you out. Thanks for checking in.